Welcome to Wyandotte, Michigan. My name is Dwayne Little, a Wyandotte native and a Liberty University student. And here we are today in Wyandotte. It's nice and cold here in November, and we're on the corner of Vinewood and Biddle. And this is the Wyandotte Historical Museum, and they have tours Thursday through Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. So about this museum, it is a 1896 Victorian and style mansion. It was built before the MacNichol marriage. So we're going to take a good look at this mansion here. This is all from the era of the 19th century, and we know it's a Queen Anne by the tower that is characteristic of the Queen Anne style mansion from the Victorian period. Another option that tells us that it's also a Queen Anne is the wraparound porch. We have a wraparound porch here. Its official name is the Ford MacNichol's Home. That's the name of our Wyandotte Historical Museum, the Ford MacNichol's Home. And in order to understand the history behind this property where the home and the museum resides, we have to go back a couple hundred years to the time of 1818 and Major John Biddle. So Major John Biddle bought furnishings, supplies, and he built a home here in Wyandotte in 1818. So he was given approximately 1,800 acres. He was in the Michigan Territory movement to make Michigan a state. He was rewarded all this land here, 1,800 acres, roughly about a third of the size of Wyandotte today. So Major Biddle builds his place here, names it Wyandotte, probably as a reference, perhaps paying homage to the Wyandotte American Indian Nation. So a little bit about Major John Biddle. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He went to school at Princeton University, so he's an Ivy Leaguer, and he is going to join the military in the War of 1812. So Biddle's going to serve under the great Winfield Scott, General Winfield Scott. You guys might remember he was in the Mexican-American War. He led the final drive into Mexico City, ensuring the United States victory in the Mexican-American War. And Biddle reaches the rank of Major. So Major John Biddle, a very prominent name in Wyandotte. In fact, the street right here, this busy street, Biddle Avenue, is named after Major John Biddle. So it's only Biddle Avenue in Wyandotte. To the north and to the south, it's called Jefferson Avenue. So Major John Biddle is going to be a success in the political world in Michigan. He served for many terms in the Michigan Congress. He was also the mayor of Detroit. And he made a couple more serious runs. He ran for governor. He ran as a Whig. He was part of the Whig Party. And he also made a bid to become a U.S. Senator. And that also failed. But he was always involved in politics, was Major Biddle. And he held the property here for roughly 30 years. So we're going to take a little walk around the mansion, give you some more things to look at. See, it's well taken care of. The porch is in great shape. And everything about this mansion brings back that 19th century feel that we have worked so hard to restore here in Wyandotte. You can see right now they got it decorated for Christmas, very festive. Of course, in Wyandotte, we're very patriotic. We have the American flag here. And it's just a wonderful building, mansion we have here for our citizens to enjoy in Wyandotte. And here's our sign. You can see this is built in 1896. It's a national registered property, so it's protected. Historic preservation, very important here in Wyandotte, Michigan. Here's more of a porch. And it's clearly evident by the architecture, the style. This is a 19th century building, and it's been renovated, restored very capably here in Wyandotte. So Biddle is going to sell the property to the Wyandotte Iron Works. And the Wyandotte Iron Works, they specialize in iron and steel. They were engaged in the Bessemer treatment. And they're going to hold the property for a few decades. Again, a very successful company. But eventually by the 1890s, this is not going to be tangible anymore for their enterprise. And they are going to look to sell. They're going to look to sell this property. And this is where J.B. Ford comes in. J.B. Ford, a successful businessman in Toledo. He specialized in stained glass. There's some stained glass windows inside the mansion. And he's going to buy the property from the Wyandotte Iron Works. And not to be confused with President Gerald R. Ford from Michigan or the great Henry Ford. This is a different Ford family, the J.B. Ford family. And Ford is going to invest in chemicals as well. So Wyandotte is known for chemicals as well as our history. J.B. Ford is going to do very well here, and he really relied heavily on salt. That's why he chose Wyandotte. Wyandotte's got numerous salt mines. I've actually been in some as a child. I went here to school in Wyandotte, and we had these salt mines. So Ford family is going to stay here for some decades. They're going to do very well, and then J.B. Ford is going to look to expand, and one of his son's daughters, so his granddaughter, is going to marry the MacNichols. So this is why it's called the Ford MacNichol home. So J.B. Ford's done very well, and he builds this mansion. And this mansion has got 7 bedrooms. There are 6 fireplaces, which is really amazing. 5 are on the first floor. We have 1 on the second floor. And there's 3 bathrooms. There are 3 bathrooms inside. There's also a library and a parlor. So parlors were really big in the 19th, early 20th century before the advent of the automobile. This is where dating occurred. You had to court the girl in the parlor where everyone's looking at you. So there's parlor inside this home. And there's events that occur. Marriages would be held in the parlor, as well as funerals. So if you're looking to get married, Wyandotte is a nice place to visit, and you can get married right here inside the Ford MacNichol house. They have marriages here quite frequently. It's a beautiful mansion, and it's a very romantic place to be married in. Now eventually the Ford and MacNichols are going to retire. They're going to move down south, and they sell the property to the Drennan family. And George Drennan and his wife, they have 5 daughters. They have 5 daughters, and they're going to live in the home for roughly 50 years. Drennan was the attorney for the city of Wyandotte. He had an extensive law library inside the home, so he could conduct his business. His daughters could entertain. Prospective suitors could come here in the parlor, and this is just a great building, place for him to raise his family, a great home. And the Drennans are they're socialites, much like Henry Ford's family. They're going to be in the newspaper quite frequently, as most affluent families were at this time. And by the 1960s, they are going to leave and also retire south. In fact, one of his daughters lived to be nearly 100 years old in Georgia. She retired to Georgia. And there's a portrait of her inside the Ford MacNichol's home. Now, no one bought the property, so it's going to fall upon one Wyandotte woman who's going to buy the property. It was in danger of being destroyed. And Mrs. Latta, we all owe her a debt of gratitude. She buys the building, she renovates it, and she does this for 10 years. And then the city of Wyandotte steps in, they buy the property in 77, they renovate everything, they make it like a 19th century home, they bring in furniture, tables, whatever they need to ensure